Hey everyone, it's Megan here from Meghan Makes Do, and today I'm going to show you how to do a tubular bind off. So here you can see this is the collar of my Wesson vest, and I did a tubular bind off on the edge. This helps especially when you're doing a ribbed piece, so along the cuffs or a neckline or a collar like this, or even hats. It keeps it nice and stretchy, and you don't get any kind of weird edge or ridge along the end of your bind off. It almost looks seamless and invisible. So it's a really great technique, especially used for ribbing. So for today's tutorial, I am using just this little swatch here. I did my little double rice stitch swatch here, and then I added 1x1 ribbing along the edge. So here I am ready to do a tubular bind off. For the tubular bind off, you are just going to need a blunt tapestry needle, and you'll want to cut off a very long tail. So typically you'll want to do about 3 times the length of your piece that you're working on. So there we go. I'll cut my yarn here, and then we're ready to get started. So we are going to bind off using our tapestry needle, and there are a series of steps that you'll want to repeat over and over. So I'm going to show you those steps now. Okay, so step 1 is to take your tapestry needle, and you're going to go through your first stitch as if to knit, pull through, and then take that off your needle. Then you are going to skip the next stitch and put your tapestry needle as if to purl through the next stitch. And you'll want to try to keep your stitches kind of loose here. Don't get too tight. Be mindful of your tension. Then you're going to insert your needle through the first stitch again as if to purl. And this time you're going to slip this stitch off. Then you are going to take your needle and go through the next 2 stitches from the back to the front, and then insert your needle as if to knit through this second stitch on the needle, and not take anything off that step. And then you just repeat that again. So insert your tapestry needle as if to knit through the first stitch, and then slide that stitch off. Skip the next stitch, insert your tapestry needle through the second stitch on your needle as if to purl. And again, don't pull too tightly here. Then insert your tapestry needle as if to purl through the first stitch on the needle. And slide that stitch off. Then coming from the back, we're going to insert our needle in between those 2 stitches, and then insert our needle through the second stitch as if to knit. And then we repeat that again and again. And we're going to repeat that all the way across until we get to our last 2 stitches. But here you can kind of see that we're getting that nice clean edge, and there's no bind off stitches there. It just kind of looks like the ribbing continues on. So I'll show you one more time. We're going to insert our needle, our tapestry needle, as if to knit through the first stitch, and take that stitch off. Then we're going to skip a stitch and insert our needle as if to purl through the second stitch. Don't take anything off. Then we're going to insert our tapestry needle as if to purl through that first stitch, and take that one off. Then we're going to come through the back in between the first and second stitch on the needle. And then we're going to stick our tapestry needle in as if to knit, but not take anything off. Just like that. So see how nice and clean that is? And you're keeping it nice and stretchy on the top too, which is perfect for a cuff or a neckline. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on and repeat this process over and over, and I'm going to go until I just have a few stitches left. Okay, so here you can see I have 3 stitches left. So I'm going to go ahead and start the process again. So I'm slipping through knitwise and then slipping that stitch off. And then I'm going to put my tapestry needle in purlwise, both through the second stitch and the first stitch, and then slip the first stitch off. So normally I would be going behind and coming back up, but since I only have 1 stitch left here, I'm just going to go through it again, purlwise, and fasten off. So there you have a tubular bind off. So you can tighten up your last stitch here, but you can see that this type of bind off leaves it very stretchy and makes it almost an invisible bind off. It just kind of looks like the stitches are falling over the edge, which is exactly what you'd want for a nice clean bind off. So I hope that you will give this tubular bind off a try. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can always find more at meghanmakesdo.com.